Solving inequalities is very similar to solving equations with one exception, and that exception involves negative coefficients. When you're solving an inequality, if you multiply or divide by a negative number, then you must flip the inequality sign. This is something very easy to forget, and it's something we need to practice a lot. Let's go ahead and practice. Negative 2x plus 5 is less than or equal to 11. Our first inverse operation, just like if this were an equation, is to subtract 5 from both sides of our inequality. Negative 2x plus 5 minus 5 leaves me with negative 2x is less than or equal to 11 minus 5, which is 6. Now I'm going to divide by negative 2. When I divide by negative 2, this is when I need to flip my inequality sign. So negative 2x divided by negative 2 gives me x. Now I need to flip my inequality to greater than or equal to, and 6 divided by negative 2 is just negative 3. This is my final solution. X is greater than or equal to negative 3. Next example. 5x plus 8 is less than negative 2. First inverse operation is to subtract 8 from both sides of my inequality. 5x plus 8 minus 8 leaves me with 5x is less than negative 2 minus 8, which is negative 10. Now I have a negative 10, so when I divide by 5, I have a negative number. Do I need to flip my inequality? The answer is no. It's not just if there's a negative somewhere in my inequality statement. It's only if my inverse operation is to multiply or divide by a negative, which it is not in this case. Therefore, I am done. X is less than negative 2 is my solution, and I did not need to flip because there was not a negative coefficient. Here is my next example. Negative x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 6. I first need to subtract 3 from both sides of my inequality. Negative x plus 3 minus 3 leaves me with negative x is greater than or equal to 6 minus 3, which is 3. I need to remember what my invisible coefficient here. My invisible coefficient is negative 1. That means in order to isolate x, I need to divide both sides of my inequality by negative 1. Negative x divided by negative 1 leaves me with positive x. And now since I'm dividing by a negative, I need to flip my inequality to x is less than or equal to 3 divided by negative 1, which is negative 3. Last example. 17 is greater than negative 3x plus 2. First inverse operation is to subtract 2 from both sides of my inequality. 17 minus 2 is 15. Greater than negative 3x plus 2x minus 2x is just negative 3x. Now, my last inverse operation is to divide both sides of my inequality by negative 3. I have a negative coefficient here. I'm dividing by a negative. 15 divided by negative 3 is negative 5. And since I'm dividing by a negative, I need to flip my inequality. Negative 3x divided by negative 3 leaves me with x. So because I divided by a negative number, I flipped my inequality. Now I still need to perform my last step, which is rewriting my inequality with the variable on the left. We don't call this flipping. We're not flipping the inequality. We're just rewriting the inequality statement so the variable's on the left. Negative 5 is less than x is equivalent to x is greater than negative 5. This is my final solution. X is greater than negative 5.